Continuing on with fine-tuning, let's take a look at how we evaluate if a fine-tuned model is any good, and then we also will look at some suggestions for improving your results. So here I have a lot of information. I'm going to go ahead and just give you somewhat of a summary overview of this. The link is in the description for this to give you even more information. So we're going to use cross entropy. This is the approach that we use for this, which is often used for classification type neural networks. We're using sort of almost a softmax for the possible tokens that can come back from this. So we're seeing, is the model giving you the expected output? And if you look at the training data for one of these, you'll see that it's basically the messages that would normally go to the large language model. So you have the system prompt, then you have the flow of messages, and you can certainly teach this through multiple flows. Often you're training it just on a input, like what is the capital of France, and here we're teaching it to be sarcastic. Paris, as if everyone doesn't know that already. So it's being a mean chat bot. So the large language model works by really predicting that sequence. And that sequence that it's giving you, we're looking at just how correct it was for cross entropy and how confident it was across the whole thing. So that is basically the metric by which we're evaluating it. This can, where this can get penalized a little bit, and there are more advanced ways to do this. Paris, as if everyone doesn't know that already. Say it just dropped the as. Paris, if everyone doesn't know that already. Okay, now every word through the rest of that is going to be out of sync. So even though those two responses were pretty similar, it's going to get penalized for kind of knocking things out of sync there. So it does require sort of an exact match is the default way that most of these models are trained. There are more advanced ways of doing that, and we'll see like perplexity, which is something that we look at as well. Not Perplexity, the company. They probably named it after this metric, but so that's the cross entropy. You're going to want to look at your training and your validation loss. So you'll probably want a validation set as well, just to mitigate overfitting, just like you see in a lot of training, both in deep learning and classical models like support vector machines and gradient boosting, all these kind of things. Perplexity, like I mentioned, this is an evaluation metric. What this is basically looking at is the confidence, token by token. So as it's constantly predicting that next token, how confident is it that when it does match the ground truth, how confident is it in its correct answer? And this is where it gets penalized if it does give the correct answer, but it's not as confident as it should be. Similarly, if it's overconfident when it's wrong, perplexity will punish it kind of in the opposite direction. So how can you improve your results with the large language model? Really, it's the quality of your training data. And this is where the big companies, the FANG companies and the Magnificent Seven companies spend a lot of money developing these foundation models, is really curating and building out that training data like it needs. Sufficient quantity of data, make sure that you have enough. They recommend really around 100 training sets. So, and this is especially true if you're fine-tuning these one by one, where you're going through and building each of these prompts and expected responses. Optimize your data formatting. Make sure you have the system prompt and other things in there. And you're using the JSON-L format. If you're doing instruction-based prompting, where it has more reasoning and you're telling it how to carry out things, make sure that you're giving it the explicit instructions that it would need. You can also look at your training, adjusting these three are the same three that you see in deep learning. So adjusting your epochs, maybe you want to give it more epochs with a smaller learning rate. And then certainly your batch size, the smaller mini batches tend to deal better, but a larger batch size can do more, but it's going to take more compute resources and might cost you more money. So this is just generally how you evaluate these types of models and some high-level suggestions for better results. So thank you for watching the video, and please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss the rest of the course, and smash the like button if this was useful to you. Thank you very much.